Hi, I'm Rosh from Energy Matters. Welcome to our podcast, Road to Zero, where we dive headfirst into all things renewable. Join us as we chat with industry experts, tech specialists, and some of your favorite TV and radio personalities, asking the renewable energy questions that you want answers to. Our goal, a zero carbon future. Today, I'm absolutely buzzing to be joining two of Australia's favorite TV celebrities, in many people's opinions, including mine, Michael and Carlene. They took the block by storm in 2014 and have just been going from strength to strength with their interior designing and even hosting their own show, Ready, Set, Reno. Michael and Carlene. Carlene and Michael, good morning. How are you?
Morning, Rosh. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. We just noticed actually that you've written your names up, Carlene and Michael. And traditionally on the block, it's quite chauvinist. It always says the guy first and then the female. So good morning, Carlene.
It's funny you say that. As she typed it in, I was like, well, hang on, it's Michael and Carlene. And she's like, no, and just hit enter.
Well, like things have changed, Michael. Things have changed.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm accepting that in my household as well. Guys, I just want, first and foremost, obviously, thank you for joining us this morning. Obviously, I've been working with you guys quite a little bit on Renovate Rebuild, open homes, which we'll talk about shortly. But really, Australia got to know you guys from the block. So if you don't mind, I know you've repeated the story probably about 1 million times over the past few years, but can you tell me a little bit about how things happened? How did you get onto the block and what's kind of happened since then?
Well, we actually... we put our audition tape in very last minute. It was like we were coming home from camping. It was due that night. So the cutoff was that night. So we literally came home from camping, dumped our stuff, quickly taped an audition tape, filled out the application and submitted it. And we got a call, I think maybe 2 weeks later, to say we'd been shortlisted, another interview, which was in person and filmed. And they just sort of in that process want to see your dynamic, I guess, like your on-camera chemistry. And we didn't get that round. So we like sort of got all the way through and then they were like, we're sorry you didn't get this round, but we're putting you forward for the next series because that was the first year they were starting 2 blocks a year. So that was the first year. That was 2014.
Funnily enough, too, it was all Carlene was not that interested in going on the block. It was all driven by me. I'm like, no, let's do it. Let's put a video in. And then she was, and then she's like, oh, I don't know if I want to do it. I'm like, well, they're not going to take us anyway. So let's just, we'll just do the video, then we'll see what happens.
Well, it was more about the fact that we had 2 young kids and like leaving them for 14 weeks.
That was the reason why I wanted to apply.
It was almost the yin and the yang, the draw card and the regret. I mean, that must have been challenging in itself. I mean, I couldn't imagine leaving Coco. I mean, she's 11 now. I couldn't imagine leaving her. Like, I don't know who I'd leave her with first and foremost.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
To leave them alone for 14 weeks.
Yeah, that was really, really hard. And I'd never do it again for that reason. No. We're lucky to have, had family and friends look after them really well, but still, like, it was awful, that aspect of it.
I think Julian's quite surprised that he sees Michael applying every single year.
Yeah.
I need another colleague. No, good stuff. And then obviously from the block, I mean, look, I know, and we're not going to sort of dwell on what happened on the block. Obviously, it was a little bit disappointing at the time for you guys. But the reality is, out of every single, and we are block fanatics in this household. Out of every single person we've seen appear on the block, I mean, you guys have literally just catapulted in terms of taking what you've learned on the block and really being comfortable in front of camera, and they're just catapulting from that and has been absolute dynamos. I mean, what transpired for you? Was it you got through the block and you thought, this TV thing isn't too bad, let's get stuck into it? I mean, what happened?
I don't know if we actually ever sought out TV, to be honest. I feel like we just sort of started. We launched Cedar Suede just like after our auction, and I guess we just started, developing some content. I feel like the whole TV thing sort of just happened. Like
I think we both come from entertaining backgrounds, growing up, and our first jobs were like entertaining as well. So, we weren't scared to be in front of the camera. I actually love being in front of the camera. You would have seen it on the block. I was didn't do much.
Michael.
I was more playing up to the cameras, but so I think that just came across, and then one thing led to another, and we got that first TV show, and then from then it sort of just kept going.
And you guys are absolutely fantastic. I mean, you're very, very professional. I mean, I've worked with you, Michael, in the Hope Island. We did a segment together, and you're an absolute clown, which I just love. Just like your sense of humor is actually second to none. It's absolutely awesome. And the crew absolutely love filming with you. And Carlene, you're just like a true professional. I mean, to be fair, filming with you, Carlene, is a little bit intimidating because you are just the utter professional. You're just like focused, you're on point. It's like, wow.
I'm intimidated filming with her. Every time I'm next to her, I can't get something out. I'm like, oh, that's your line, Carlene, you do it.
Yeah, he handles it.
If there's a joke to be had, I'll say the joke, and then the serious stuff is Carlene.
My sense of humor is a bit more dry, I have to say. So maybe that's I guess we sort of can bounce off each other a little bit in that way, because his humor's right out there in your face, and mine's a bit more reserved.
No, fantastic. I love it. And tell us about Cedar and Suede.
So Cedar and Suede, we launched as a designer construct business in 2014, and it's evolved since then. Initially, we started out, offering both design and construct, and then not long into it, I guess we sort of had to pull back a little bit in what we could offer in terms of like client offerings and services, because we were really busy with TV and campaigns and media and that sort of thing. And over time, it's sort of, I've pushed Michael out.
Yep.
And now we're just strictly an interior design service, which as of just a couple of years ago, I decided to sort of focus in more of, because I love it. Yep. But so I've got staff now, which is amazing. So I'm able to take on more jobs. And we're still very small. Like I said from the get-go, I only ever want to take on projects that I sort of have an affinity with, where we're like the client and I are both on the same page in terms of, aesthetic and, everything we want from the project. So we're still small, but I love the day-to-day of design and pulling materials and colors, and you sometimes a bit fried at the end of the day making a million like micro decisions, but I
can imagine. It's like almost building a house over and over and over and over. And I actually work from home. We just sort of, when we did the second stage of our renovation, I said I want a studio that's custom designed for like samples and, the big floating table and the whole shebang. So it's really nice to be able to work from home and have access to everything all the time. No, that's amazing. I mean, that's been the great thing about COVID as well, to have, to almost force us to work from home, and then actually to create environments that we actually love to be in. And it's really, really hard then to pull yourself away from that and actually then go back and working into an office. So today's my actually first day of working back in home, and which I haven't done for a long time. I've been in the office for a while just due to the internet connection and the noise that I have to put up with at home. But it's lovely. It's lovely being back. Inside of so Michael, you're a pilot as well, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, that was part of the reason Carlene forced me out. It's always been something I wanted to do, and we got sort of after the block got the business into a position where we could transition to sort of interior design only, and I weigh in every now and then when there's some models to be created or something, but for the most part, I just stepped away, and I was able to realize my dream of becoming a pilot. So I started training for that. I then started teaching, and as of recently, just got a charter job flying in and out of a tropical island up near Bundaberg. So I literally living the dream.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So I'll have a chat to Sam and the boys. I think there's some filming that needs to be done on that tropical island. And
Well, actually, the tropical island, it's run by Peter Gash, and it is an eco resort. And
oh wow.
and you probably should come up and have a look, because it is very interesting. They obviously they used to run generators. They now run solar up there. They've got their own waste management plan up there as well. He's very eco-focused, so it would definitely be interesting for you to come up and have a look.
Absolutely. I mean, that sounds absolutely fantastic, and that's certainly, I don't know if it's on open homes, but it certainly needs to be on one of our segments that we have coming up. I mean, leading on to that, before we get into open homes, I mean, I got to meet you guys via Renovate Rebuild, which was absolutely fantastic. I mean, you guys were brilliant on it. Loved watching you on TV, and sort of just freaked myself out seeing myself on there from time to time. But let me just play a quick clip from that show.
Well, they may not get Sean and Maxine completely off the grid at their place, but they want to include as many elements as possible to get them comfortable in the house and save on their energy bills. Team Renovate have called our energy expert Rosh from Energy Matters to find out how they can achieve this now without impacting their budget.
So if budget is something that's really important to you guys inside of this particular project, my recommendation would be to look at a buy now, pay later product. We actually work with an amazing company called PayRight, and they offer exactly that.
Okay, well, that sounds good, because that won't come off our budget then.
Yeah, that's perfect.
That was such an amazing experience for me. I felt I was in greatness, working with greatness there. We're actually lucky we had good coverage as well in that house, because it was a bit dodgy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
Good coverage. Guys, what did you love most about working on Renovate Rebuild?
I think that show, it brought a lot of awareness, and even to us, like, we know design, and we know that, with a good design, you can come up with ways where you could sort of create that healthy type of home without spending a lot of money. And I think not a lot of people understand that.
No, absolutely. And I mean, what's really present for me as well is, I mean, those design decisions and the implementation of renewable energy technology was absolutely fantastic. I mean, for me personally, I mean, I know renewable energy technology, but just to see the building materials like the windows, all the other different components that I never actually was that present to inside of the energy rating was absolutely magnificent. I mean, have you found, Carlene, inside of your designing now, that you're taking into consideration those kind of those elements?
Yeah, it's always in the back of mind. I mean, largely what we do, I guess, in interiors, it's sort of more aesthetics and layout.
Stuff.
And I guess building designers have to consider that sort of thing. But definitely in terms of like window placement, like types of flooring used, like, the whole idea of concrete flooring acting as like thermal mass. It's not always right, because if your window placement hasn't been taken into account, then you're not going to get the sun on the concrete heating it up and cooling it and all that. It's definitely something that's back of mind. And I guess in even things like, window furnishings, a lot of, I guess it's only sort of in recent years that people have been considering, just how much like things like curtains can keep out like the weather, for example, and
absolutely
keep the space cool. And so we definitely push window furnishings a lot more than we used to.
I think the other thing the show highlighted was the fact that how much industry is starting to respond to climate change and everything, and how many more products are out there now that once you do a bit of research, you can actually become aware of, because once upon a time you speak of that and people think of mud brick homes, but it's sort of that stigma's starting to change around now.
No, absolutely. And it's just also the materials, there's a lot more recyclable materials being used in today's sort of products, which once we have more access to and they start to make financial sense, there's some more availability. I mean, hopefully there'll be more use of those. I mean, with Open Homes Australia, we've worked with you a couple of times so far this season, Carlene, and you've been absolutely awesome. I mean, and how are you finding so far filming this season of Open Homes? Enjoying it?
It's been great. I mean, can you believe, I think this is our 5th season. So does that make it our 6th year.
Must be, yeah.
Yeah, we've been actually doing it for so long. Open homes is it sounds funny, but it sort of feels like a day off for us in a way, because we literally just have to turn up and be like talent. And in every other aspect of what we do, we are like the motor behind it. So it's actually nice to be able to turn up to set and just be, I guess, told what to do to some extent. Yeah.
And who wouldn't love turning up to these amazing homes and walking through and getting the private tour?
I know, and they're absolutely beautiful as well. I think we're seeing one soon, and 10 Talabudra next week, in fact. So yeah, excited for that.
That one is impressive.
Yeah.
Is it impressive? I've yet to see it, so I've heard about it. But you guys know the owner, don't you?
Yeah, I actually worked for the owner like a few years ago. So first time I showed up and had a look at it, I was blown away. So keep your eyes peeled for that one.
Oh, absolutely. And once again, we can't wait for Open Homes Australia this season. I mean, season 5 actually goes to air mid-March. And not only will it be featuring you guys, but we've got some incredible homes that we're showcasing on there via Energy Man's partners and some incredible technologies. We're very, very excited to see that. Guys, just leading on to technology, I mean, in your opinion, I mean, what do you think about the implementation of solar power batteries, electric vehicles?
Yeah, it's sort of crucial. We have it. We have solar panels and a battery, and it's definitely, awesome. We're probably not using it to its fullest, are we?
No, we are. We've got the solar panels up there. We do certainly have more room for some more solar panels, which would be good. But yeah, so a few years ago we implemented the battery as well, which obviously, which obviously stores that energy, and that's something that we weren't 100% across, but now we sort of get the idea of it. And obviously that's storing that energy, and then once the sun goes down and the kitchen comes online, we can then use that energy, and then obviously, we're not at the point where we're getting a rebate yet from the electrical companies, but we've definitely reduced, the amount of energy we're using off the grid.
No, which is absolutely fantastic. And once again, just implementing that technology. I mean, getting it in the first place, kudos to you, because, once again, it's been around. I've been in this industry now since 2009, and it's still only really, 1 in 3 homes, 1 in 4 homes that have the technology. So it's been a very long time. So just by doing it. Sorry?
Because I see, that blows my mind, because I mean, as this technology evolves, it's really bringing the cost down for everything. So, it is very accessible.
It is, and when you consider how expensive electricity is right now, the cost of energy, I mean, it's an absolute no-brainer financially, as well as obviously making a massive difference in terms of carbon reduction. So, we're hoping there'll be more and more implementation of that tech as time goes on. I mean, really, with climate change, not to take this conversation too down the humanitarian rabbit hole that I like to get stuck into, but really, what are your thoughts on climate change? I mean, how are you impressed with the way the world's transitioned? Do you see a shift in mentality? I mean, what are your thoughts on that?
I definitely think, like, as people, everyone's sort of more aware of it, but not like collectively, there's no way we are doing enough. And everyone knows our governments are not acting in accordance to how they should be at this point. Australia's, especially falling behind. We, like in our day-to-day lives, are definitely, we implement things in small ways that we know are making a difference, like just super basic stuff like saying no to shopping bags and, not generating waste where we don't have to, recycling, like just basic stuff, not running the aircon unless we absolutely have to. We never run it at night. We sort of changed our pool system over 2 years ago to a system that's way more energy efficient. So just really small things. We never, ever leave lights on in spaces where we're not using them. What else do we do? Just like we're imperfect, but we do small things, which we know help.
We actually watched a movie the other night called Don't Look Up, Leo DiCaprio.
Yes.
And it's absolutely, it's an awesome movie, but it uses an impending asteroid coming to destroy the Earth as a metaphor for climate change. And it's very satire, but the message behind it was quite true to what's going on, where, political parties will use it, if it benefits them. People really don't believe that it's going to happen. And at the end of the movie, I won't give it away, but yeah, they see this asteroid coming and it all starts to click. So, hopefully we're heading towards that direction where it does start to click with people.
There's
look,
also
absolutely.
like sort of difference in generations. Like my parents live next door and they don't think about it as much as we do in terms of climate change. They think about their energy bill, like their shopping bill and that sort of thing. But like I'm constantly like my mum uses Glad wrap, like there's no tomorrow, and wants to wrap pulls out those plastic zipper bags, and like we're constantly like butting heads on that because I'm like, we've got containers, just use the container. So I feel like generationally, I think our generation and definitely our kids' generation, it's just going to like considering those things. It's just going to be in their DNA. It's just going to be part of their everyday life.
Absolutely. And you're 100% correct. I mean, like my daughter, she's 11 now, and she'll come home and, if we even put our foot out even slightly, so Dad, that's plastic. That doesn't go into that bag.
Yeah.
And even at Christmas, separating her packaging, like taking all the plastic off the LOLs and the Barbie packaging. Wow. So the cardboard was there, the plastic was there. I was like, I'm going to have to, you're going to be coming to work with me very, very soon.
Yeah. Oh, there's hope for us yet.
But you're absolutely bang on. It is literally small changes, and all anyone can do is start with something small and just build from there. And implementing technology is a financial investment, and I'm glad to see that you guys are obviously realizing, the return on investment, because obviously reducing your power bills. But obviously with the implementation of batteries and then EVs electric vehicles coming up soon, there's going to be many ways everyone can achieve net zero for their home, and the more people that do that and make those small changes as well, the closer we are to get to it, we're going to get towards a zero carbon future. So hopefully we won't see what happened in that movie at the end, and look, and everything is turnaroundable, right? So I mean, the reality is, yes, in terms of carbon or climate change, we are getting very close to that point on our return, and at the same token, we can still improve our quality of life irrespective, right? So and we just have to cross our fingers our kids and their kids and their kids can come up with some great technology, which I'm sure they will, to help the planet moving forward. Guys, before we wrap up, what's next for you? I mean, obviously we're seeing, hopefully we can see you more on TV, but what else would you like to leave Australia with in these final few seconds?
We're currently in the process of renovating our 5th caravan.
Wow.
Fifth vintage caravan. So that's consuming all our time at the moment in amongst everything else.
We've got a book coming out on vintage caravans, so you have to keep your eyes out for that.
No way. We'll have that on our marketplace. Let me know when.
Yeah. So that's, I guess, writing the manuscript for that, and we'll be revealing the next caravan in that, along with our others, is definitely consuming our time at the moment amongst our
flying to tropical islands,
normal business and family life and all of that. Yeah, it's busy.
Just one quick question. How do the kids, with watching you guys and watching how things have played out for you, I mean, how do the kids look at it? Are they like, in awe? Are they like, Mum and Dad, you're like super famous? Are they?
No. Completely indifferent, and don't really like our kids. I don't know, like we don't even watch TV, do we? So they never see us much on TV anyway, and they're not interested. They just couldn't care less. So that's nice and humbling.
They just want to play within the pool, have some fun.
Yeah. Yep. That's it.
I completely understand. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me this morning. I do appreciate it. You've been absolute superstars.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Rosh. We'll talk to you soon.
You're very welcome, guys. See you on set.
Okay. See you, bye.
So, guys, thank you very much for watching today. Just a quick reminder that you can still get 3 free solar quotes and a free energy bill comparison via our website, energymatters.com.au/solar quotes. Please make sure that you subscribe to our YouTube channel if you haven't already. And please feel free to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our LinkedIn pages to catch up on the latest renewable energy news. For now, have a fantastic day. Thank you.